Today's episode of Universe is dedicated to the memory of our fabulous and loving friend, Justin Waithe. On this episode of Universe, Diversity and Kendoll discuss the inevitable ending of long-running reality series Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the anniversary of September 11th, Mars Retrograde, the impact of the California forest fires, and spirituality through tarot and astrology. You can fight off those Mars Retrograde blues when you like this video, send some love or throw some shade in the comments section, and subscribe by clicking the bell button. Welcome to our universe.
Episode 9. Grooves in the heart. That's what I'm giving you right now. Yes.
Such 1991 vibes. I can't even either 1991 or 2009 or a little bit of both. I don't know.
Just a little bit, with just like a sacred geometry flower behind me. NBD.
It's very Euro. It looks like
I saw the sign.
it looks like Euro.
And now you're
Living without you. It looks like you are hosting like Top of the Pops or something.
What's up, bitches? It's
What-
your
what-
girl, Savage Flower. How are
Savage
you?
Flower.
How
Oh
are
my
you on this
God.
evening, darlings? That's my
Darling.
terrible accent, guys. No
Oh my
offense to
God.
those that are native speakers of said whatever accent that was. Welcome to episode 9. How are you guys doing? We're so happy to be here. Oh my God, Ken, you look delicious.
Thank you. I look nowhere close
No,
to the
you
way
look-
that you look in how I want to look in my life.
You
but
and I, if we walked into any place like this,
what would they say?
that's it.
That's it. That's what they say. That's the comment.
That's it. Yeah. It would be just actually,
Clutch the
why don't
pearls.
you guys tell us in the comment section what you would say if Ken and I showed up
I
looking
need
like
to
this.
know.
Like I have
need to know.
Oh my God, Ken, we're doing it again.
What?
Sacred geometry flower, you've got flowers on. Oh my
Boom.
God.
Boom. There it is.
We did it again, folks. Shit.
I was looking for the connection. Also, our necks are covered, both of us. So.
Would
mhm.
you? This is just uncanny. This is a sign.
Which is funny because we just talked like an hour or two ago, and we look totally different than the way that we look right now. Like,
Oh my God, yes, girl. I was still in my PJs. I was like, I literally, anyways, when it's time to get it together, we get it together for you. Yes, for
and
you.
I'm drinking again,
What are you drinking? Tell the kids.
just a Chardonnay.
I know
Cheap
her.
Chardonnay. That's going to be my firstborn daughter's name, Chardonnay. Then
Aw.
Chardonnay.
Aw. I like it.
Yeah, when I'm 2 facelifts deep. Like, oh look, I'm already swallowing my words.
Oh goodness.
Oh goodness. Nothing else. Don't worry about it. So it's been 2 weeks since we last recorded our last episode. Great episode.
With Adam Joseph. Thank you guys
We
for
love
watching it.
Adam.
We love Adam
Great
so much.
conversation.
Really good conversation. Oh my God, yes. Outstanding conversation. I was just proud of us for having Adam on the show
Mhm.
because I think that's just like historic and it's going to be a museum piece later, I'm sure.
Yes.
But also, I always get the joy of sitting with my people that I love so much and being able to share tribe with the world. I think just like I just was watching myself when I was editing the podcast and just like watching that I'm just like the whole time with this like dumb little smile on my face. And guys, it wasn't because I was giving serving face. It was because I was just like, my two favorite people are talking and we're all talking and oh my god, I don't have it.
Isn't that cool that you get to like literally bring people together, especially in a time when people can't be together?
Lord,
Isn't that
Lord.
cool that you get to and I've never met Adam in person, but I feel like I know him somewhat, somewhat because of the fact that we've had those conversations and the
Yeah,
fact that that you connected me to him before when he was in LA and I was here. You know what I mean? So even though
that's true. That's true. That's very
it's
true.
really weird the way the world works and you feel like you know people now without having physically been there.
Yep.
But it's interesting and I think it was a good conversation. I think um just like the behind the scenes moments on his songs was really cool to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Giving some people the candid moments of what it is to be Adam Joseph and what's his process. So I'm
Mhm.
glad we were able to bring it to the world. So thank you, Adam, for being so candid, so open, so giving of your time and your energy and your essence and legacy to us all and your wisdom because God knows we need it. So thank you. We
We
love you,
need
Adam.
it
We
and we
love you.
love that.
And
So
at the end of the episode, we did do in memory of your friend. We lost a huge light in our community. And I'm gonna give that to you because I didn't know him personally, but I have friends. All the entire tribe of the East Coast tribe was completely just affected by his untimely death and passing. So
so yeah, and thank you for that. And um we filmed our show, I believe it was Friday. It was a Friday that we filmed. I found out about Justin on my friend Justin Waithe. If any of you knew him, he was such a light. He's one of the coolest people. I actually the shirt that I'm wearing is I started. I've known him for about 4 years, but I started gigging with him in early 2019, pretty regularly, and we would do shows together. And girl, like gay men don't like each other when they're on a gig together. You know what I
neither
mean?
do girls, neither do girls. So don't
Right,
worry.
right. So,
This
so
bitch.
I had an immediate connection with him. We had this love for each other's vocals and love for each other's energy. And I just knew when I met this guy that A of all, I had to step up my vocal pussy and I needed to step up my fashion pussy because Justin worked at Barney's New York.
Woo!
And
All
I
right.
can't
All
I
right.
can't be strolling in anymore. Like I have to put my look together, which I mean I never really strolled in, but it was and so anyway, this is one of the shirts that he loved and I
It's
have
a
a
good
couple
shirt.
shirts from my other friends that he helped pick out and so I don't know. This is the one that I found spoke most to me. But anyway, it's not about me.
But you're
It's
holding him
about
in memory today in today's episode with the shirt. So thank you.
yeah, I don't know. I'm wearing my friend.
Yes.
um,
Yes, you are. And that's good.
but my friend Justin was a gay black man who lived his life to the fullest. Um, and when I finally was able to write something, I spoke to him. We filmed on Friday. I spoke to him Thursday, and Justin was one of those friends that like you gotta check your DMs in private. You know what I'm saying? Like
Ah.
so like what once the shock kind of wore off and it's weird girl, it's really weird. I don't know if you know anyone that like has had social media that passed or like that's really weird to me. Anyone I know that has passed has been like 85 and doesn't know what a computer is. So the fact that I still have messages from someone that is no longer with us is
Wow.
is real
I've
like
never had that happen to me
can I
before.
can
My
I
God.
message you on Instagram? I don't know. Like I don't know. So I
Wow.
wanted to because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who has the account now. So I wanted to like save some messages from him, and I was like, wait, what is the last thing he sent me? And the last thing he sent me was like, I took a picture of myself at the gym, and like, I guess my bulge was out or whatever. You could see that I had a bulge, right? And
And a
he goes,
hefty one at that.
he goes, put that thing away. And I was like, I had a mask on my face too, and I was like, oh, but I can't. I need to wear a mask at the gym. And he's like, you know what I'm talking about, bitch. So that was really the friendship that we had, and uh, I don't know what else to say. He was great in the he was big in the Boston musician community. Um, if you guys know MRF Mob Music, he performed with them, and it was just an amazing community. And I was really lucky to get to know somebody that I didn't expect to get to know. And um, I mean, when you gig with somebody and you share the stage with them and you share harmonies with them, and my dude knew how to harmonize. And like when we would have these parties, we'd have like even during Corona, like in the beginning of Corona, we'd have these parties. um and my partner Scotty would put on Mariah, and Justin and I would harmonize to Mariah. So like Mariah would be singing the melody, I would take the higher harmony, Justin would take the lower harmony. Those harmonies which did not exist, we like wrote them to, you know what I mean? So he's one of those people that you.
Fun,
I, I,
fun, light, and
wait,
fun.
did I tell you the story? Maybe I didn't. I
Please tell me now.
there's a story of me, my friend Mike. I met Mike, who is like, I guess, the owner of Mob Music. He's like the writer of the music in it. So Justin sang with him. Um, and a wonderful girl named Lisa Bello too. She's amazing, and she's one of Justin's closest friends. She sang at his funeral. But anyway, um, they were doing a gig, and Mike has me come up, and I may have told you this story. Um, and Mike has me come up, and he's like, "Yo, come sing with us." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know what songs you guys do." He's like, "Just like come in and sing harmonies." And because I always would just come in on Mike's gigs, right?
Right.
And he'd ask me to sing. So I was just, all right, cool, So I take the mic, and first song they do, I don't know, but I'm just like, no, you know. Um, Second song they do, I'm thinking it's like Mike's gonna call something. And I know, maybe because I've done gigs with Mike, and he calls "Weak" by SWV.
Ah,
Did I tell you this story?
no. Oh, I love that
Okay.
song so very much.
Well, I'm glad you love it, because I will. I love it now in the nostalgia of the
What
moment. But
happened?
girl, I didn't know it, and
No! You're from
like,
Philly. What?
I
I
know,
thought they sang it in church
I
every
know.
Sunday morning. What do you
In Philly
mean?
church, I
Yes.
so it's me, Lisa, and then Justin, and like Lisa singing lead, Justin singing a harmony, but obviously there's a third harmony. But at the time, I did not know that.
Oh no.
But
Oh no.
they called a song that would have three harmonies because I was up there, right? Um, just assuming that I would know it. And this was at Beat Brasserie in Boston a couple of years ago, probably 2016, because that was when I met Justin. And actually, this was like the night I met Justin.
Wow.
And I hadn't met him before I walked on stage, and it was a diverse crowd, but primarily a black crowd. And so they're doing all the R&B hits, and I come up and I don't know Weak
The
like at all,
national anthem? You
like
don't know the national anthem of America? I don't
they
understand.
could have been singing in Greek. I mean, I no clue. And there was this table of beautiful black women, and right in the front, and they're like, "White boy, sing!" And I'm just like, I'm trying to find like a harmony. But if and I really can't even redo the melody for you right now, but it's like wordy.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like you can't do an ooh in the background. That's not what that song is. It
It,
is, you
it's
got
a
to know the
whole yeah.
words.
Yeah, it's
And
a whole thing.
I didn't,
Oh.
and it was very clear, and I was just mortified. And so afterwards I was like,
Oh.
and and so, meaning, like, I didn't sing anything. I got up and I was like, give it up, and I was just like, I'm out. I was like, oh. So we ended up leaving before they were done.
Uh-huh.
And after I had probably more than enough drinks to forget the rest of the night.
Uh-huh.
Um, and very recently, Justin and I were talking about that experience. And I was like, Justin, do you remember the first time we met? And he's like, no. And I was like, it was that. And I told him the story. He goes, oh yeah, girl, that was bad. Like that was bad. So and
Oh.
he's like, it's not as bad as you think it was, but that's funny.
Yeah, no, it's
Um,
pretty bad if you didn't know the song because that's not a song where you like ooh and ah. It's you know it or
no,
you don't know it.
no, and that's the reason why I will only like if we have some songs in common. I'm smarter now. I learned my lesson.
Thank
It
you,
is what it
Justin.
is.
Thank you,
Thank
Justin.
thank you,
Yeah.
Justin. But Justin was, and I mean, I met Justin very quickly on stage, but I didn't really even meet him that night. It was probably a couple months after that. But uh, just to even remember that and to comfort me afterwards, years later, literally we talked about it probably in July, and it was the first time I talked about it. I was like, "Do you remember the first time you met me?" He's like, "Oh, that was bad." But it's just that kind of friend that doesn't.
Yeah.
Because some people will be like, I don't want to sing with that person again, or oh my God, I told everybody about that.
Right. But he was like, no, that was just a moment in time.
Yeah.
How are you processing? Are you okay? How's the grieving process? I know this was
Uh,
a big hit for just the community, our tribe. I call it our Boston tribe, but how is everybody?
thank you for asking. It was just, it was weird. It was like nobody expected that to happen. Sometimes things just happen, and I was like, what? Like someone told me, one of my friends called me and they told me and they FaceTimed me. And I remember thinking, like, Justin who? Like, because my friend Justin, that wouldn't happen to. You know what
Right,
I mean? So
right, right, right.
I was like, is this someone we know? Like someone, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
someone we sort of know.
right.
Um, and then I remember he worked at Barney's. He was so fashionable and so encouraging, like self-expression, that
Yeah,
I would like the whole time we were on our way to go to my friends. I almost like dressed up because I thought he was gonna like pop out of the closet and like make a funny face. And even when we went to the viewing, I just like I couldn't help but think of his big eyes and his big smile, and like, wouldn't it be funny if he just popped up? And I know that's like so weird to think at a funeral, but that was just his vibe. It was making people laugh and it was bringing people together. So many of my friends that came into town to say their goodbyes to him said, Justin brought us together. Either he's done that in the past or right now he's bringing us together. And everybody just had the best things to say about him. And so, you know, it's a loss, man. It's a loss. I can't really even think about why things happen, but it's just a loss. So, what do you do? I think, and I asked myself that because I don't want, and I know I'm talking so much. I don't want
no, just fine.
anyone to forget my friend. Um, I think also, as in our community, whether you're queer, whether you're gay, whether you're trans, you never know when you're going to go, and you need to make sure that you are remembered in the way in which you want to be remembered. Because if not, if you don't have a plan for that, something else could happen. And so I think that was a lesson for me. And I think, I hate when people say, live life to the fullest while you can. When someone dies, I mean, I know that. I know, like, I
Yeah, but
know that.
it doesn't work when and it only. I think that should be a daily
Yeah,
understanding. That's
yeah,
why there's a lot of practices that are of gratitude, of constant gratitude,
Mm.
waking up in the morning, gratitude practice, just being thankful for every moment.
And
You know.
speaking of, not to interrupt you,
No, no, you're
the night after I found out he passed, or the night I found out he passed, um, there was a wonderful meditation I did. It's about coping with grief and loss. It's by the Honest Guys on YouTube. I sat outside. I told you this actually, but I sat outside of my apartment building and
mm,
I sat there in the grass in the dark. It was nice out though. And I just I let it flow. It was long. It had to be a half hour. I just cried it out, and
mm, mm.
I felt like I was able to say goodbye to someone that I would never think of having to say goodbye to. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I encourage getting in touch with your emotions if you deal with something like that. I encourage getting in touch with your emotions anyway, and I'm talking at this point, but I just want the world to know, excuse me, the world to know how amazing he was, still is. He would want us to like. He wouldn't be like, "Oh, cancel your gigs. Oh, don't film your podcast." He'd be like, "You better fucking sing for me." And I had friends who I had a gig the night after, and one of my other close friends had a gig the night after, and we had to do it, and we just had to,
Wow,
I
that's hard.
and you remember actually when we joined our band together, one of my very first gigs, it's probably my fifth or sixth gig. Um, I had found out just a few hours before that my grandmother died,
I remember that. I remember that right
and
now. Yes. Oh my God.
and
Wow.
it's just like, you got to do your thing that makes you continue, and they would want you to do that,
Yeah.
especially those two people. For me, they would have wanted me to continue. So, and the thing about Justin is that he would have wanted me to continue, but to kill it while continuing. Don't half-ass it.
I remember when you called me. It was weird because you just sent me a message and you were like, "I love you." And I was like, "I love you too." And you're like,
mm, I don't even remember
"No,
this. I
no,
was
no, no."
so
You were like, "No, I love you, Nat. I need you to know this. I need you to understand who you are in my life." And you kind of like dove in a second and you were like, "I just lost my friend." And I was like, "Oh my God. Okay. All right. Well, I love you. I'm here. And, you know, what can I do? But sometimes it takes that moment to share with those that you would never think about saying I love you to. And I'm one of those that I'll say I love you to anybody.
well.
Like,
I'll say it to you, right? No, I'm
yeah, I'm
not.
just like I love you. Okay,
I th-
bye.
I
And
think
I have,
about saying it to you all the time.
yeah, I say to you every time we get off the phone, but I
Yeah.
feel like there's I have some friends that feel very uncomfortable by saying I love you to one another. Like I very much appreciate you, or and I'm like, I
Really?
appreciate you too, but I love you. I want you to know that. And they hate it. They hate it because they think I'm
No,
being
I
all
say it.
spiritual and shit. But I think that you never know if that's the only time they hear it, number one. And then
Hmm.
number two, I truly do love everybody. Like we're in this
I feel that.
together, guys. Like
Yeah.
we're all having this experience together, and you one way or the other are experiencing one way or the other a part of my experience, and I'm experiencing a part of your experience, and we have all something to share with one another of the experience to get through it. So, I had someone say that this is voluntary amnesia. We have chosen to come here and forget that we are
Mm.
all part of the same thing. So, you know, now Justin is here, and every time someone watches this, he's here too,
Hmm.
and it will continue to live on because he lives in the hearts of everybody. Everything that he ever said to you is going to always resonate to you because of how it affected you. And I know
Yeah.
everybody had those moments with him that he left a seed in everybody, and I think that we have to really treasure that here and now constantly. Understand that how quick life can go, but then also understand how beautiful and how important it is while you're in it to to
You
to, to celebrate that, to take the juice out of it, to just get in there.
know what was I saying? when we were sitting together thinking about Justin, um, we were talking about how souls meet, and it's not about how much time you have, or it's just about those simple moments when you all gather together, you know? Um, and it was just really special. And thinking of all the times we had had, and, you know, I'm blabbing at this point, but
No, we're
mm,
honoring and remembering him. That's what we're doing, you know. So cheers to Justin.
cheers, Justin. We love you, baby. Cheers.
Thank you for you, for all of you, and how you continue on with us in this memories and the time we talk about him, every time we sing week, every time, and so on and so forth. I know I have to say something funny. I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
I have to say something funny, but I don't mean to belittle the moment, but it's like one way or the other, every time you hear that song, it's not going to be this terrible moment anymore.
Mm.
It'll be the day you met Justin.
It's always songs too. Like I always hear really random songs at really sad times, and I'm like, oh my god, I'll never think of Katy Perry's "Roar" the same way again. Like, so yeah.
Yeah,
For Justin, it's weak.
that's all
Um,
right. Funny story.
it's
The first time I ever got up on stage to sing when I was 15 years old was to Week.
no.
Oh, I
Get
did
out of
karaoke
here.
night. I swear to God, I did
Get out of here.
karaoke night and I
You were
sang Week.
15? That was the
Yeah,
first time you sang?
yeah, in front of people. You know, I was a shy kid, says the girl with the wig on and blue lipstick.
That's, that's a shocker to me because I would have thought that you were like running around some stage at 3.
No, I was
Um,
backstage with my mother because my mother was always performing and I was zipping upstage, doing the curtains or something. But um, actually on stage,
mhm.
not I. I was in the corner over there reading a book or something.
Not
No,
I.
not I. I did not want anything to do with it. I was shy and I was not interested in it. But
Well, I'm
yeah,
glad that changed.
me too.
Mm, I'm really glad
Can't
it did
explain
because,
why you love. Sorry.
oh my God. Thank you to SWV. Next week, our guests are
Will be
SWV.
sisters with voices.
Oh my, oh, is that what that stands for?
Yeah,
Oh, that's nice. I didn't
yeah,
know what it meant. Yeah,
yeah. Not sis does sisters because they're all related.
they're really right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Um. So I wanna quickly kind of take a moment to thank you for being so open with everybody about Justin and just kind of like, and I hope that, grief is a very, very difficult emotion because it
Yeah.
shows up and it doesn't go away. But then the reason, like, you can get angry all of a sudden
Mm,
and, or like get really, really depressed and you think it's because of blank, but the true reason is because of the grief that you experienced last month and
mm,
there was a part of it that didn't get uprooted or didn't get honored and it needs to be expressed and it gets expressed as blank. So grief has a lot of different expressions and I think that um, there's a lot of people right now going through this grief because of, number one, there's a plague going on. Number two, um, people are still getting sick and dying. There's terrible fires happening right now all over the world. I just looked
yeah.
at this fire map from NASA, and it's insane. It's the whole world is on fire. It's not just California. So
Really?
yeah, it's kind of insane. Um, no, it's not kind of. It's really. Uh, but there's just a lot of grief going on right now, and I think that I'm really
Mm,
glad that we're taking a moment to honor it, but then also understanding that it's ongoing. It doesn't go away. You're gonna miss him a lot for a while. He's gonna be a reason why you feel a way or you want to do this really now. I got to do this now because look,
right.
or whatever. And it's like, and
And
I
I'm
think
very prone to doing that, even like randomly, even,
right.
but
So I want you to know that I'm here for you, and you have a whole tribe of people that
thank
are
you,
here
baby.
for you, and we love you, and we want to honor Justin always.
Always. Yeah.
I recommend everybody to take a moment to look at NASA's fire map. It's mind blowing the amount of fires that are occurring in South America, in Africa. It's like whoa, and then plus you have these tiny little dots in California, and look at what it's causing us here in California. It's like we've got red skies, but
Oh,
then you look.
wow.
Are you looking at it right now?
Yeah.
It's like, wait a second, hold on, wait 1 moment. I mean, I understand that I'm seeing these
In
red
South
skies
America?
here. Yeah, that's the Amazons. The Amazon is still on fire, bro. And then half of Africa is like in on fire, and it's like, so, you know, I can't help but be like, the world is on fire. You know, did we start it?
Did we start it?
Because that's a Billy Joel, right? Um, we didn't start the fire, but it's always been burning, and it's like, this time, did we start it?
This
Um,
time we started it, I think.
is Mother Earth with a fever? Because it seems like the land is hot, the ground is hot for
Hmm.
things to catch easy. Is the ground hot because she's got a fever, and is she just burning up right now?
Hmm.
I don't have an
What
answer for that, but I'm posing that question because
do
I
we
can't
do?
help but wonder.
Do we know what is starting the fires?
No, I supposedly the one that just happened, the one that just started in Sandy in the Bay in San
Hmm.
Francisco area was a gender reveal.
No.
That's what they said. But I
Um.
find that the gender reveal thing is like something the parents do, and supposedly they had pyrotechnics or something, and it caused a big fire, and now it's an agenda. It's becoming a conversation, which I'm not
What?
against conversation, but
So basically, what you're saying is people are having conversations that are saying we shouldn't have gender reveals because it starts fires.
no, people are saying, they're saying, oh, look, this is why we're having gender reveals. And look at
So
the
that
fact
we
it caused
can
that.
start fires.
No, they're saying, let the children figure out what gender they are when they're ready to explain what gender they are and stop having these gender reveals because it's wrong, number one. And then number two, look, it's causing fire. See, told you, you know?
I mean, I don't think it's wrong. I just think it's like not. I think I wouldn't like put pyrotechnics on it. You
Right.
know, you know. I mean, some people get really excited that they're having a boy or a girl. Um, Sometimes it ends up not being a boy or a girl. So
Which is awesome. I think that that's like,
cool,
I love that personally. I love it when someone's
right?
like, "No, you're wrong. Sorry," and moves on,
Nope.
and takes that control of their life. Um, but I just feel like, yeah, just it's becoming a slight agenda, and I'm like, guys,
Just the way
whatever
people are
it
talking
is,
about it.
yeah, I'm like, whatever actually happened, can we just like look at the fire itself and realize
Can we
that
talk
like
about the fire and not the party? Yeah.
right, exactly. I'm like, we don't have to make this into this massive agenda during
Right.
election year
Right.
of, what we think about this. It's like we're missing the point here. Mother Earth is burning. So I've been doing this thing, and I invite you, everybody, to do the same thing. I Googled a picture of a little leaf with dew on it,
Mhm.
and I sent it to all my friends. And I said, part of your meditation practice, I'd like you to envision this picture
Mhm.
because I want you to send out the energy to cool and uh,
Ooh.
cool and soothe the skin of Earth right now because she's got a burn on her.
Mhm.
So dew and like a healthy leaf is it's cooling, right? It's cooling. So I welcome you also to
Mm.
try that because I think one way or the other we are we are creations of Earth. We are her creation, right?
Mm.
Even though we've gotten a little away and we're slightly GMO now. Um, I think that like
Slightly.
slightly. So I think that like one way or the other, we still have some ancient connection to her, and we're able to send out that energy of, you know, nanny nanny boo boo, you know. So
Nanny nanny boo boo. Well, yeah, no, I love that. I love manifesting these ideas in meditation. Um I've really gotten into meditation probably this year specifically. So I understand the way that it can transform an energy. And usually when people are, you know, in a bad spot, when others would say, I have a cold, it's not COVID, by the way. When others would say, thoughts and prayers, I say, I'm sending you good vibes. I'm sending you good energy. I'd rather have good energy than a Hail Mary, personally. We love a
And
Hail
that's cool.
Mary.
And that's great. Like that's some people prefer the Hail Mary and would ask for the Hail Mary.
Right.
And that's, I think that one way or the other, we are connected, and we are somehow, some way still connected to everybody around us, that we can feel their energy. And I think that that's part of our newfound spirituality, where we kind of go to science to try to understand it a little bit more. But then also there's this ancient writings and this ancient teachings that say these if you do these things, this will happen, and then it happens. So, and it works. And meditation and taking time to quiet the voices and the chatter in the head, and just being able to find silence, somehow, some way, illuminates the path for you for what the next thing is. Or it happens to me all the time. I'm thinking about somebody and boom, text message, boom, they give me a
Yeah.
call, or you and I coordinating
You and me.
somehow, some way. I mean, literally, you guys, I had a different background 2 seconds before we started recording, and then I just changed it.
Yeah.
Just saying. Maybe that's my subconscious, possibly. But then also, I find that there's, I
I
can see
would
that
say
little
it
thing and
is.
little thing and swinging in the back of the throat.
Wait, can you?
Yeah, I can. That's your uvula. Hey, everybody.
Wow.
Look at that. You see that?
Look at that.
Did you
Open it
see? Did
real
you
wide,
see?
huh?
Did you see Ken's uvula? There it is. Show him what you're working with. Yes. Uh huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh huh. Watch how I make this microphone disappear. No.
Oh my God. All you have to do to make it disappear is put it in the background, because like the
No. Either I can make it disappear or I can't. I'm not into trickery here. This is my
okay.
real background. But
I'm just having a little nut mix for the hypoglycemia.
you better put those nuts in the back of your throat.
You know,
If I didn't do that, people would
this
be
is
angry. Sorry, public.
this is gonna look like we planned this.
No, and that's the beauty of it. Unfortunately, everybody, this is just us being us. We
This
just
is
decided to post it for you because we love you.
and film ourselves doing it.
Yeah. Speaking of
Mm-hmm.
spirituality, I want some nuts in my back of my throat. Um,
Praise.
big thing coming. What we're in right now, Mars retrograde. This is huge. Real quick, astrological moment. Bling, bling,
Go there.
bling. So Mars, the planet of action, the planet of let's get it done, let's get this focused, divine masculinity, has been direct in Aries, basically this whole year, which has been awesome. But also, it's been a lot of we're gonna start, we're gonna stop, we're gonna start, we're gonna stop, we're gonna go, we're gonna do this because Aries is the first sign. It's like a little matchstick, we just fire, But the thing with Aries is sometimes the follow through isn't great. Now Mars is going to be retrograding in Aries, and it's going to be coming forward again in direct in November. Um, it actually literally went retrograde yesterday, and 9/9, and it's going to be kind of going back to the beginning of the year where we were energetically. So a lot of astrologers are saying it's the next wave of the COVIDs, because we're going into flu season.
Right.
Right. But then also, I want to take the opportunity to say that when you have the planet of action in Aries, which is great forward action, let's get it done. It's a great opportunity to really look back at everything that you have done this year, and all the deep spiritual or like your own personal evolution, um, and how what you learned. And how are you really headed in the right direction? Like, do you like what you started building, or would you like take a moment and reassess and redo all of it? And it's such a fantastic opportunity because once we go into 2021, it's going to be full steam ahead. So having
Right.
this chance till the end of the year, basically, because the thing is, once a planet goes direct, it's got to pick up speed again. So it's going to be basically up to speed by like January, basically. So we're really going to be ushering in this brand new energy fully by January. So I welcome
By
everybody to
January.
to really take the time to, number one, really start taking care of your immune system big time now, because
Mm,
it's really going to activate the whole
I
COVID thing
gotta get a
again.
humidifier, honey. I
Get
gotta
your
get a
humidifier
humidifier.
on, get your oregano oil, get your
Mm,
wellness formula, get your gig. But also take the time to really kind of like look back at what did you accomplish? What didn't you accomplish? If you didn't accomplish anything, but the things that you wanted to get done, but you didn't get done, this is a really good time to get it done. So
get
that,
it
but don't
done.
release it. Don't release it. Release it in January when like all of this momentum has been building up. Oh, you're losing my hand. Your all of this momentum is building up, and then it goes forward. So, boom, take it or leave it. It doesn't matter, but know that that is the
I'ma
energy.
take it.
That's the energy.
I So when does the Mars retrograde end? November?
In November, yes,
Okay.
mid-November,
So that is after the election.
yes, after the asteroid has hit us and the election happened. Yeah,
When does the asteroid hit us?
I think it's like a week before election.
Great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they say it's like two football sizes, and I'm sorry, as an avid a meteor shower watcher, you see these massive things just kind of shoo, and they burn up. They really do. Our ozone layer is awesome. It's like our skin. Sometimes you
Hmm.
get a scrape, sometimes you even cut and even get a little blood, but
Hmm.
like in like 20 days, it's fine. But sometimes you get like a gash. This is not going to be a gash. We may see blood. We might even be like, oh, look. But I don't think it's going to do anything.
Okay. Do we know where it's going?
No, I should check it, but I'll let you guys know in our next episode.
That's good to know. Tell
Yeah.
me if it's Boston, and I'll
Oh,
move.
yeah. So you can go outside and look at it? Oh, absolutely. You know me. I'll go on a whole tangent about when to go outside and look at it.
I feel like there's something sexual there,
Go
but
outside and look at it?
go outside and look at it. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
if you're into the nature,
I am into the nature now, but not
really?
sexually.
Ah,
Yeah, not sexually.
ah, sexually. Also, tomorrow is September the 11th.
Hmm. 19th
Whoa,
anniversary.
whoa,
19
whoa,
years.
whoa,
Well,
whoa.
that was something that transformed our country. Um, I I think the day was crazy, but what was even crazier was the 5 or 6 years of crazy. For me, it's like crazy, like patriotism, but not friendly patriotism. It's like, no, this is what a real American is. It's like it for me. It
Like how it is
became
now?
race. Yeah, well, I think that was really what started some of that. Not all of it. I mean, it had been there. I mean, there's racism that's been in our country for 400 years, but I think it really started the modern wave of racism.
Yes, and the wars. Um, for the early 2000s, I was dating a Marine that did two
Mhm.
tours in Iraq, and that became very real for me because for me, I was at Berkeley. I was
Right.
like, I was a college kid. We're doing music. We're smoking pot. We're listening to Coltrane, trying to figure it out and
Yeah.
shit. Listen to Jill Scott being like, wow. Um,
Uh,
but like seeing that kind of totally different world where while I'm in Boston, at Cappy's, there's somebody at the front lines with like a little hill between him and
the enemy.
the enemy. And the enemy is somebody who looks just like him too, which is funny. It's not this like, you know, teeth gnashing fucking thing with all these arms. It's another
Yeah, it's
human
not an
being.
alien. Yeah.
No, it's another human being. And I remember learning that whole kind of perspective
Hmm.
and understanding it. And that's what led to Positive Perception, the group that him and I started, which was about kind of using music to spread a positive message. But then
Cool.
also at that time in the early 2000s, there was no like positive music movement. So we were known as a Christian band.
Oh.
So there's been a lot of changes. And I usually around September 11th, I get kind of like that, wow, like, yeah, you know, so much the world has changed, but then also now we've got that new layer of high security, which is now, you know, the mass that the terrorist is unseen. It's a germ.
Where were you when September 11th happened?
I was first semester in Boston and Berkeley. I was
You
at
were
the
in your first semester?
Yes, that was I had literally said, "Okay, bye," to my mom in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
We just did the that thing that they used to do at the BPC where you meet
The
everybody.
orientation. So you were in
Orientation.
orientation when
I
that
no,
happened?
no, no. We just finished doing orientation the day before, I think. I went up to I was staying in the 150 Mass Ave. I was at the top bunk. It was a three person room.
Three-person room.
And at like 7 in the morning, I had just met these bitches. I didn't know them. Um, they One of my roommates came and just kind of moved my bed and was
Uh-huh.
like, "Yo, you got to get to a TV because they just hit the World Trade Center and they might hit the Prudential." That was the deal. And
Oh my God.
I was like, "What, mommy?" You know, because
You're
I
like,
was like a
what's the
kid.
Prudential Center?
Exactly. No,
Yeah, like,
I knew what the Prudential because the Peru was like right there, but I
yeah.
was scared because I was like, why did I leave Miami for this shit? No. You know, my mom was like, get back here. And I was like, I can't. We don't have money to do that, you know? So, um, yeah, I remember watching it and then the second plane hit. And I think that was the first time that I started realizing I was a spiritual being because I felt that. Oh, I felt that. I remember kind of it hit my stomach. It hit my
Uh-huh.
stomach and I kind of sat down and I felt like someone had poof, like just punched me dead in when someone knocks the wind out of
Wow.
you, you know,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
someone hits you in this belly that you're like, ah, and you can't breathe. It was like that. And I could feel it. And then maybe like 6 or 7 years later, I walk near the prudent. I walked. I'm sorry, near where the site was.
Mm-hmm.
That they had built that whole memorial there. There's like a hole in the
Yeah.
ground with a waterfall. Nah, dude, it was too energetically heavy for me. That I remember I had to sit down because I could feel the death there. And then one time I think also I was like kind of strolling around New York when I was living in New York. And I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really paying attention to where I was. I used to go on these like long walks and I'm like, why am I feeling this density? Why do I feel so dense right now? And look, I'm like, where am I? And I'm like, oh, am I near the World Trade? I'm like, I'm totally near the World Trade. So that's where
Wow.
I became a conspiracy theorist. I like started really being like I started what because at that time there was no heavy YouTube and being a conspiracy
There
theorist or
was no
seeing like
YouTube.
yeah, you know, when people will be like, yeah, but what about Tower 7? Like things like that. Like that was stuff that you talk about in private and real quiet because you were like
Mm-hmm.
afraid of being looked at because you couldn't, the patriotism, you could not
I
question
remember
the narrative.
kids in my high school
How
saying
was
that.
it for you, by the way? Where were you for 9/11?
I was starting sixth grade math class with a teacher
Oh God, Jesus.
named Mr.
Sixth fucking grade. Fuck this. I'm out of here. Sixth grade. How dare you? How dare you?
How dare
How
you?
dare you?
It was sixth grade.
Nerve
I'm
of them.
sorry. I'm sorry. Um, and we were young, and I had this awesome. I went to Catholic school, but I had this awesome nun who was our principal, who was a religious being, but I honestly believe she was also a spiritual being. She was very much about the empowerment of children, and so in that spirit, she got on. She'd all the time she was getting on the loudspeaker, but she wasn't like one of those annoying nuns. She'd be like, teachers 3rd through 8th grade, please be sure to turn your televisions to channel 3. And that's what she said. She said it was either 3rd to 8th or 5th to 8th. She told them
Right,
to
right.
turn
God bless
the
her.
TV on.
But God bless her.
And so we had just started math class. And I remember it was math because I had Mr. Butler and he was real into that math, you know? And so we turned it on and he's like, okay. And he's like, damn. All right. So we'll leave it on, but this is the quadratic equation. I'm gonna tell you. I'm like, okay, cool. Meanwhile, everyone's like, watching.
Right. Of course.
And I remember the second tower getting hit. I was watching the room like, oh my God, like we were in 6th grade. We didn't know, we didn't know shit. And then at that point he goes, this isn't important. You guys don't need to see this. And he shut it off.
Right.
And
right,
I remember,
right.
I remember for years being like, what a dick. And not understanding that he was trying to, he realized that was fucked up.
Yeah, he's trying to not traumatize you.
Yeah, and then right after he did that, literally minutes after that, she's like, all right, we're going to release the kids.
You're in Philly. You were in Philly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, so everybody in the East Coast was like right around that little area.
Mm-hmm. Tri-state area.
Yeah.
So then we went home and me and my friends were all really confused. And I remember my mom and my grandmom, I'd never really seen them like sit on the floor at the TV the way that they were like watching it. And I knew something was historic. So I was freaked out by it. And so I just had a bunch of my friends over and I had them jump on my trampoline. And I was like, isn't this cool? We all have off. And I was choosing to not believe anything was wrong when I was 11 years old. But
Pisces.
Right. So I mean really for me it's more the aftermath of 9/11 that's really crazy, especially when, do you know how many people died on 9/11? I can Google it.
You can Google it, but I do not know. You please Google it so we can make sure. What I think what the weirdest part was meeting people that were in the towers later. Because
What?
I really later in my life knowing people and then like just them to kind of casually mentioning and then being like what am I supposed to say here? Like, because it's it's a long time, right?
Right.
Yeah. How many did you get a chance to pull it up?
Yes. So 2,977 people died on at the towers. 6,000 were injured. 265 people on the 4 planes died. And 120. I'm sorry. So it was 209,077 altogether. So
100,000, 210,000 people died. And those are not of 9/11.
No. 2,900
in total. How many people died?
2,977. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I thought
200.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought you were going to the coronavirus thing because 200,000 died of coronavirus.
Well, I was actually gonna say that doesn't include those that went to Afghanistan, to Iraq.
Okay.
To, and these are 18, 19, 20-year-olds. That to this day, don't have legs and arms, or that passed as well. So yeah. And not to mention just the amount of PTSD and trauma that they came back with. So that was such a massive shift. And I think we're going through another one now with COVID.
Yeah.
Um, and we're not really gonna see that shift till later. Like right now, we're casually talking about it in this like little visual podcast that we're doing
Right.
about 9/11. Wow. I think we're gonna 20 years from now the same thing. Kind of wow, COVID. And we're both gonna be in VR, and we're both gonna be sitting there, and I'm gonna be unicorn,
And I'm gonna be.
a teddy bear. You're gonna be a unicorn. I'm gonna be a unicorn teddy bear, and you're gonna be, um,
I'm gonna look just like this,
right.
except
You're gonna be
3D.
able to. There you go. You're gonna actually, you know, have enough money to have the best avatar possible. I have a unicorn teddy bear. No, I'm kidding. But I'm just saying that like we're gonna be in a fully virtual space because who would have thunk that we would have been doing this back in
Mm-hmm.
2001? I mean, I remember Berkeley in 2001. They didn't ask us for laptops. Kind of brought your own. So
Oh,
yeah, so
wow.
it was the change is so massive, and I think we gotta take a little time every now and then to kind of remember that. So
I think so too, and I think um yeah. No, I agree. I think that the way it affected our country is something that we have been dealing with. I mean, if you think about it right away, the wars happened, the economy crashed. There was a lot of racism after that.
Bush was the president. Bush was the
Bush,
president.
right. Well, I'm right. Bush was the president, and Bush dealt with 9/11 and the economy crashing. One at the tail beginning and one at the tail end of his two-term presidency. And I think that everything in between that was part of 9/11. And who knows? I mean, I don't really know anything about economics, but the economy crashing very well could have been a result of, and I'm just speculating. I'm not one of your CNN analysts, but of us putting all this money into a war where, yeah, it was about 9/11, but we went after the wrong people.
Oh,
You know what I mean? We went
yeah.
after Iraq, and Iraq was like, we didn't do this shit. We don't
We
even have
went. We went. We
weapons.
went with. Firstly, remember we went and we got Hussein first,
Right.
and then we got
And he was a bad
Gaddafi.
guy.
Yeah, and then we
We
got
got Gaddafi.
Gaddafi,
That was
and
under Obama, right?
uh-huh, and then under Obama we also got Bin Laden.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a whole like story arc, and I think that again
It
I
was.
watched so many conspiracy theories, and it was difficult to watch those conspiracy theories and be like whatever, and then have people, actual soldiers that were there, and be like,
Mm-hmm.
I was there, this place that they are saying on this thing, I was there, I was at that crash site, I was at this, I work on these planes, this is what it would actually look like, it does not look like that. I have actually, like, I was at this actual location. It does not look like that. There's no possible way that, and they would break this shit down for me. And I would be sitting there like, I really got to sober up, man. Like, I got to, like, not smoke any more weed. This is insane. Because you're breaking my entire reality down. Because as far
Right.
as I'm concerned, this is just truth. What they tell me on this thing here is truth. And you mean to tell me that no? And it's crazy because then, later I heard about Kennedy, and there was like that whole wave of those people being like, conspiracy theorists about the Kennedy
That
assassination. So
shit's fucked up. Well, and
yeah,
I mean, if you
so
think
and now
about
it's just
Kennedy,
movies. I don't know.
if you think about Kennedy, it was JFK who was president,
And his
and
brother
his brother RFK who was the Democratic nominee,
and the son.
and then the son who they were saying was going to get into politics, but I mean that wasn't on the radar. He had a magazine. Um, but really crazy stuff. And now you have Senator Joe Kennedy. I think he's a senator in Massachusetts, and he just lost. So he might want to stay out of politics. But
Unless you're cool with the top, it's whatever. But that's why I started learning about all that stuff. So I think that that is
Mm.
kind of a little, moment, because those that watch the show, excuse me, they know me as the one that I'll be like, well, I have heard that, and then I'll just like I go into a whole conspiracy theory thing. But that's really where it began for me, kind of just like hanging out with these people that are like questioning
Mm.
that which is being told to them, and then having actual proof and facts from their actual lives to back it up, not necessarily someone else's article,
Right.
which was really hard for me to negate or to be like, whatever. I was like, man, I gotta either really take this in or not. And I think that's what he said and she said and they said.
Mm-hmm. Both.
But
Mm-hmm.
all of them. And then so I want to kind of like, always say that if you're one of those people that are questioning or wondering or being like, you know what, I think this is a bunch of bullshit, that you're not a conspiracy theorist. You're a person that is used in exercising their free will and their choice to think and to debate and to talk and to wonder, because you don't have to just be like, okay, and then move on.
Mm.
Because then like you'd miss out on the opportunity of being on a podcast with a blonde wig and a neon yellow dress,
Right.
with the coolest person ever wearing the most dopest shirt with like the cutest little navy blue, royal blue pants, shorts.
Oh, you see them?
Well, for the record, I mean, I've got just some shorts pants on too.
I didn't know you could
We're
see them.
well, it doesn't matter because we're virtual and we're home.
We're home.
But
Right.
Justin wouldn't
Exactly.
like this. So I could feel you, Justin, being like,
Mm.
nah, yo, no, that's not it.
Mm.
That's not
Mm.
it.
Mm.
Mhm. But yeah, just question everything, guys. Don't be afraid of it. There's people, belief will take you so far down to even like the front lines of war.
Mm.
And then when you get there and
Like,
you're
why
like,
am I
wait a
here?
minute, this is some bullshit.
Wait.
That's
Yeah.
hard because then you
I
lose your friends.
I
Watch
would
them die. It's hard. Don't do that.
I would God. I would say
Sorry. It was true. It happened. I met
I
these. I met
know.
them.
I know.
I
I
met
know.
them. I was a young 20 something, and I was like, "What's going
And
on
you were
right now?"
traumatized. Is this when you were blonde, by the way?
No, this is when I was
This is
still
before
a
you were
brunette,
blonde.
and then I
Hmm.
went blonde. Yeah, and then I went blonde when I was a teacher.
When you were a teacher, right?
Yeah.
Which you are a teacher. We spoke
So
about that
the
earlier.
astrologers tell me.
You are a teacher. So maybe that's where the blonde comes from. But um, I do want. Well, I was going to talk about this. I don't know why I think it's really interesting, but I find it interesting. Speaking of, like, we were talking a lot about the history after 9/11. I think reality culture really ramped up after that.
Yes,
I think
yes,
a
yes,
lot of
absolutely.
like celebrity. You remember that on like VH1, like
Yep,
all this the
yep.
word celeb. And then in
Mhm.
2006, this little show with this sort of unknown family, they came along and they had a little TV show. It was made by Ryan Seacrest, who wasn't a producer at the time. It was his first thing as a producer. It's called Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And I remember watching it and thinking, who? Like, not even shady. Like, who? I don't
I was like,
know.
wasn't that the girl from Ray J? Because I
See, I
remember
didn't even
her.
know about Ray
See,
J.
I had heard from her. I was much older. You were probably like in fourth grade, but I had heard from her.
I was
She's
still in
trauma.
sixth
I'm
grade.
so traumatized from this. Sorry, I'll get over it. I'll cry about it later. I'll meditate. Bye bye. But I was, I was it was Paris Hilton was the thing,
Paris was it.
and
Like, if
and it
you
was
told me,
and she was hot. Everything was hot, right? It was that
oh
was the
my
thing
God,
to say.
I
And the
met
little
her.
flip phones were. Oh, did
The
you?
the pink ones. I did meet her at a mall in Philadelphia, and I was at like 17, and I was like, Paris, you're hot, and she's like, no, you're hot. That's exactly what happened.
Oh my god, I love your impression of her. It's perfect.
It was exactly that. It was like, no, you're hot. Like she was like, oh. And I was like, whoa, like I just had a full ass conversation with Paris Hilton. I mean, there's not really much more
Profound. We
conversation.
spoke so long with this
We
professor.
right, like she told me her life
Just hit
story.
it off.
Um, but then the Kardashians happened, and I remember thinking, I don't know who this lady is. Like, why? It's not like she's on a show with a bunch of other people that we know, and she's the person being introduced. It's like she's the star already, and now all these other people are characters. And that was '06. I was still in high school. Um,
I was graduating college, and oh no, oh 06 I was back in Miami, so I had already graduated college. That was when
that
Jersey Shore was going on.
was before Jersey
That
Shore.
was yeah,
Jersey Shore was '08, '09.
I remember all of that popping up and me thinking, going, "That's the Ray J girl."
That's the Ray J girl.
Dead ass, dead ass. I was just like, okay, isn't that crazy? Now she's
And
like a billionaire.
now she's married to Kanye West. She's literally a billionaire, literally an empire. And I just wonder if, especially with the coronavirus, the show is finally ending. But I forgot to mention that the show is ending.
Wait,
If
what? Is it really?
it is,
Oh my
yes.
God, I didn't know
That's why
that.
I'm talking about it.
Oh, okay.
They're yeah, they announced that the show is going to be over. It's They're going to air their 21st season, but not 21 years. They had like multiple seasons in years, you know. So, but 21 seasons of a reality show is like unthinkable, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I used to watch the show for a time. Not I used to watch it because it was a when I was in high school, it was like a funny family show, and it was goofy, you know, and like the girls would dance on a stripper pole, and it was funny. And now, if you ever watch it, I watched it for the first time in a long time recently, and it's like Kim's going to Paris for the afternoon, and Courtney is in the Hamptons, like with her baby pair,
Oh
and
no.
like Caitlyn is married to like it's like what like who, and then Chloe's ex baby daddy's
I can't
baby
relate. I
mama.
can't relate to that. I can't relate to that. I can
It's like
relate to Ray J, but I can't relate. I can relate to
well,
a
it's
sex
so
thing with a black guy, but I can't relate to like
yeah, you
going to
can.
Paris. Yeah, going to Paris for the
It,
afternoon.
but it's also, I mean, if you remember, like Kim got robbed in Paris, and like so the show it became this very serious docu-series, like high fashion, you know. It's weird, and I think that what I'm saying in long term is that I think the bubble burst, and I think that and I think coronavirus may have something to do with it, but we as a people, I don't think we're as interested in watching celebrities be so wealthy and that be their reality, and me sitting in my one bedroom apartment being like, but wait, you know, like, but
Yeah. I'll buy
why
your
am
foundation, girl. I'll buy your lipstick, but I don't know if I want to see how you live.
I mean, but why am I even buying their foundation though?
I don't know. You tell me.
You know, well, I mean, I guess their products are good, but like, why are those people the ones with the opportunity to have the best product, you know?
Yep.
Um,
Talk about it.
and trust me, like I have no shade for the Kardashians. I think they've, you know, there's this, oh my God, there's this amazing interview with Cher in the early 1990s, and she's talking about Madonna. And if you know anything about Cher and Madonna in the early 1990s, they weren't friends. And Cher
Okay.
goes, the interviewer asks Cher about Madonna, and this is right around like sex, so the sex book and all of the sex stuff. And Cher
Sex.
goes, well, I think she's very creative, and she uses the little talent she has very well. It's so amazing. It's like actually
Wow.
she's wearing a wig very similar to yours, but it's red. Um, and it's just like the whole joke about the Kardashians has always been like, oh, they don't have a talent, they don't have a talent.
Right. They know how to make
Um,
money.
they know how to make money, right? And so I think that not to sound like Cher, but I think whatever talent they do or don't have, they take what they have and they used it to make not only an empire but an incredible people. I mean, 21 seasons of a reality show is nuts.
Honestly, that is
You
pretty crazy.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
people have
Yeah.
been watching that show for that long. So I think now people are like, we don't want to watch that anymore. Maybe they'll buy the palettes. I mean, the products are still good, but I don't
And the
think that.
Spanx and everything. Yeah.
And the perfumes and the weaves and
Yeah.
the lip stuff.
Right.
Like I think that people, I don't know, I just find it interesting that in this year, a lot of shows are ending, but especially that show. A lot of
Wow.
and a lot of other reality stars from other shows and franchises are being called out for their bullshit. So I just feel like there's a shift and there's a tide turning. People don't want to see bullshit anymore. They want to see, real people,
Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's
you know.
why we welcome all of the Kardashian audience to come see our show.
Yes.
We are real AF.
Mhm.
Those coughs are real. This
I'm
wig
sorry.
is real.
The
These
cops are
nails
real.
are, girl, I'm just being silly. But these nails are real. Everything about us
They're
is real,
so
honey.
real. Your hair is real.
I'm so real.
You grew
Um,
that today. Oh, oh,
a
wow.
reveal.
Cut, 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 cut. That was really the first wig reveal. Is it hot? Are you?
No, I just figured I'd just serve a little bit of truth
Yeah,
for a
no.
moment. I didn't
I'm
I didn't
living.
I didn't put any more makeup on my face, so I'm sorry.
Yes. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's a great look.
Thank
Love
you. Thank
that.
you.
Imagine our listeners that this is their first episode that they're viewing and they find out that you were wearing a wig. What are they thinking now?
What are you thinking right now? Let us know in the comments below.
Let us know in the comments. Thank you for mentioning the comments. Keep us going with the comments and we will engage with you, darlings. We
We will
will we will engage with you.
engage, honey.
Um
I'm very proud of us. You know what? Long live the Kardashians. Long live
in
the
different
Kardashians. Maybe, who knows? Maybe uh Kim might be our first lady
Oh god.
in the future. And,
You never know.
you never know. And I want to say that, I really love what they've done with their face and how and
Mhm.
all the innovations that they've helped push forward in the plastic surgery um, medicine.
It is actually amazing if you're interested in. I used to, when Google was like kind of new, I used to Google the history of Michael Jackson's face when I was like
Yeah.
11. Um, and because there was like, I didn't know that Michael Jackson, the little black kid, and the gender and racially ambiguous, I almost said
They
something insensitive, but I didn't mean it, person was the same person. So yeah, so I was just very interested in the transformation of it all. um so yeah, interesting. But speaking of transformation, I want to do a pivot because I'm done talking about the Kardashians, let's be real. um I'm going through a little bit of a transformation right now. And I'm getting really into more tarot than astrology, but tarot and astrology. And
what?
this I can thank you for. What? I can thank you for this.
Sadness.
Well, I I have been into tarot, not jokingly, but in 2018 I got into it because I love that. By the way, it's very, I'm trying to think who it is, but hear me out. So
It's
I got into
avant-garde.
it is avant-garde. You look like Bjork. Like if Bjork were bald.
We
Has Bjork ever been
sit
bald?
on a mountain right at the top. Sorry.
Right at the top. What was I saying?
Tarot.
Tarot. Yes, tarot.
Love her.
So, I started watching these tarot readers on YouTube because I just needed someone to tell me that Trump was going to get out of office. That was it. I didn't need it. I didn't need to believe it. I didn't need to think it was actually going to happen. I just needed to hear someone say it. And so then I started watching, I think I watch about like at least 10 channels now. Shout out to Marie, my table. We love her. She's going
Yes,
through
we
some
do.
stuff.
Right.
Great tarot readings, and she also taught me about like the pendulum thing. But
Oh, you have a pendulum?
I don't have a pendulum yet, but
I'm gonna buy you a pendulum.
oh my god, I would love that. But okay, so Marie, I'll just get into it. Marie is this cute little older woman. She, in early June of this year, she was so distraught about Trump. She said, "I'm going to hold my pendulum, and here's how I'm going to find out when Trump gets out of office." And from it was like June 1st, right? She goes, every single day she did, pendulum, is Donald Trump going to leave office June 3rd? She'd be like, "No." She'd kiss it. "Thank you for your answer." Pendulum, is Donald Trump going to leave office June 4th? She got all the way to July 7th. I watched the video. It's like 45 minutes long. I just put it on mute. But it's it said he was going to leave on July 7th. Obviously, we know he didn't leave on July 7th, but it made my June a little better. And I thank Marie for that. So I really got
I love
into
tarot. I love tarot so much.
I do too, and I've been doing readings, and we did a reading. We'll keep it private, what we talked about. But
It
for
was a
me, I've
great
done.
reading, Ken. You gave me a fantastic reading, by the
I
way.
can't believe
That
how
was so good. So good. So good.
I can't believe how on point the readings are. I mean, I've done some stuff. My family doesn't even know this yet, but I've done stuff on them, um, with great intentions, and some things have come up that are so true, and maybe even things that, like, I know, but maybe they don't know I know. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
It's just I don't want to reveal anything, but
No, don't.
it's very interesting what it picks up, and it picks up a lot on emotions and a lot on vibes, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a really good way of kind of having an outlet for those two that are interacting with the
Mhm.
reading. So I ask question, you channel. So it's like oscillation, and then the output is the card,
Yeah.
um, based on set predetermined expressions. So the currency itself has to find what, where, and what, right? But it's just, I mean, every time I get a tarot reading, it is just, I always walk away like going, wow, like I don't know if, because the cards are face down, right?
Right.
So it's not like you're,
It's not magic.
no, and it's, they always say like just hold on to your thought so that when you put the cards down. But today's reading, I think you started putting the cards down before I'd even asked a question. So it was like kind of like a little slightly beforehand. So
Mhm.
I was just kind of like, I was open to whatever, but then I was really just taken back about how intuitive it was, and I was just like, whew. So I'm really excited about this new expression of yours. I mean, I've definitely been way more public about my astrology, even though I'm not astrologer. Even though I like to tell people I like astrology because it's just like checking the weather app every morning. You just want to see kind of what's going on, if it's going to rain or not. But I'm not an astrologer, but like tarot, I find is a really good way to kind of in the moment question clarity, move forward in that place. And I'm so excited because it's going to help, at least I keep saying this to you, connect to your divine masculine and just really kind of channel that divinity into this body, but then also channel your divine femininity and just kind of like your divine evolution here with these tools, because that's all we can do. It's like figure out better ways to connect with everything else that's around us. And it was just so powerful. So I'm so excited about this evolution. And thanks for coming out and as a tarot reader in the public eye.
Well, I can only thank you for it because you're far more into astrology. Excuse me.
I did nothing. That was you, boo.
No, you really did. You kind of exposed me to that. And I'm certainly not great yet. I'm still looking up definitions of cards, but the thing about it is you look it up, if you still need to. I certainly do. And then you interpret it, even the visual on the card. You say, okay, how does this pertain to your life? And so we did a lot of that today.
Yeah.
And what I loved is that we really got an opportunity to look at the cards together.
Yeah.
And we kind of both saw the meaning in it,
Yeah. It was a collaborative effort. Yeah.
It always is with us. But I love it. And I think it's a great outlet, especially in such an uncertain world. Go deep and find yourself. And for me, like now I need to do astrology too. I don't know a lot about astrology. So it was really helpful with you there. You knew more about the astrology side of it, but I was just interpreting the cards. So I was looking at the visual. I was reading the words on the little cheat sheet I had. And I don't know. I think it's a beautiful experience. And every reading I've done so far has been, not everything. It's great because it helps you realize not every single moment is going to be great, but at the end, it's almost always okay. At the
Everything
end of it,
always turns out okay.
It turns out okay. You grow, you learn. Some things are sad, but it turns out okay. And that's really what I love about this, is that we go through some shit, but we don't know how to deal with it. And tarot kind of helps me at least see a light at the end of the tunnel, or a new tunnel. I would say learn as much, just like music. Learn as much as you can. Study the textbook, go through it, really, really soak it in.
There you are.
And then put it down and use your intuition. Because when I'm on a gig and when I'm singing, I'm never thinking about my breathing, or I'm never thinking about the chord analysis of the harmony I'm going to sing. I just go because I've educated myself to have that intuition.
There it is.
So I think spirituality is very much the same. You want to learn your history, of course you do. You want to honor what you're stepping into, but at the same time, you have to trust yourself that you have the intuition that led you to look into it anyway.
I love that. I love that so much. I love that so much, Ken.
Be careful.
We should start wearing masks when we film, even though we're alone in our house doing it.
I thought I had a mask. I have this. Wait, I'm gonna get it, and then we can say goodbye. But
I don't have a mask. Erner, I don't have a mask. I just
here, take this one.
Grabs it, puts on a black mask. Can you imagine? Yes.
I like this one.
Oh my god, I love that! Oh my goodness.
Shout out to my friend Matt Ramey at Concept Properties, who
love that.
Gave me this. They have their own mask with their logo on it, but I saw that he had this. I was like, I need it, and so he just gave it to me.
I love it. Spread happiness and joy.
That I'm smiling.
There it is. There it is. So thank you guys again for hanging out with us. I'm gonna wrap this up. And remember to like, subscribe, click the little bell for notifications. And thank you for hanging out with us on episode 9. we're gonna be back with episode 10, our season finale. It's gonna be huge. So
What are we gonna do?
I don't know. We're gonna do it. We should be naked.
Yeah.